Hello and welcome to all the Rangers out there. I'm Joe, host of the Power Ranger Corner. Normally I don't do these sort of news videos on this channel, but this is going to be the first time because there was a community tab poll and people voted to find out what I think of this reboot. Power Rangers Cosmic Fury not returning for a second season on Netflix. The end of the first season of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury marks a significant moment in the history of the 30-year franchise. With Cosmic Fury not returning for a second season, the story of the Power Rangers, which has spanned over 30 years and featured hundreds of Rangers, has come to an end. Prior to 2021, Nickelodeon had the rights to new episodes of Power Rangers. However, this changed with the release of the Cripes, these writers and journalists. Can they even write? Second season of Dino Fury, which arrived on Netflix exclusively in two parts. The first half dropped in early 2022, and the second arrived on Netflix US on September 27th, 2022. Yeah, so on April 19th, 2023, Netflix also saw the addition of a 30-year anniversary special of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series, which was pretty good. September 29th, 2023 also saw the exclusive release of Cosmic Fury on Netflix. I'm skipping this part because this has already been answered. Our rebooted Power Rangers is on the way. Yes, since Hasbro's acquisition, they can't write, I can't speak. We're a good match. I'm joking. Since Hasbro's acquisition of the Power Rangers franchise, a plan to reboot the Power Rangers franchise was set in motion. Entertainment One, the production company behind Cosmic Fury, was the company's last produced series for the franchise, which is currently in the middle of being sold to Lionsgate. The upcoming Power Rangers reboot, which is due to be released sometime in 2025, will be the first in the franchise produced by Hasbro Entertainment. This means that the 30-year continuity of the Power Rangers franchise is coming to an end. In an interview with Heated, Simon Bennett, the showrunner of Cosmic Fury, had the following to say about the upcoming reboot. Hasbro's main interest was always in the young adult Jonathan Entwistle series that had been developed since late 2019 or early 2020. This was intended to be a hard reboot, more sophisticated, aimed at an older audience. Yeah, I doubt that. Without any dependency on Sentai or established canon. Never a good sign. They were designing it to suck, is what they're saying. And I know someone's going to say, we didn't want to know about that part of your views, Joe. But I'm not going to lie. I'm fairly cynical and curmudgeon-y about old things. Most of our channels are all to celebrate and preserve old things. Old fantasy, old mythology, old literature, old historic ideas I say ideas, more like just simply to discuss academically history itself, like with my from Schildelik to Charles podcast over on our history channel. So if that's an old idea, then I guess it is. But man, that was a silly thing of me to say. But the reality is that I don't really like new things. Everything after Dino Thunder I didn't much like for the most part, except the odd celebration episode. I just prefer older things. I read older books. I read older everything. I watch older content. I've listened to some old radio dramas from the 40s. I just like everything older. The curse of being me, I guess. But to my mind, Power Rangers was best from the Mighty Morphin era up through to the Dino Thunder era. If it was my view, I'd probably have ended the series there, as there was a great ending for Dino Thunder, and there was a great beginning, middle, and end, with the series starting in some ways with Tommy and ending with Tommy. So I think that was the perfect idea. It's poetic. And what's more is that I I'm very nervous about this reboot. However, development seemed to be going very slowly. Well, I'm not nervous. I know what's going to happen, but I don't think Fury Season 2 or Cosmic Fury would have happened if it had been ready. There were stopgap seasons intended to keep the show ticking over and supporting toy sales in the meantime. Yeah, Power Rangers has always been very involved with being a toy sales kind of series. It's like Transformers and He-Man in that regard, which makes sense. And even Ninja Turtles to an extent. When development resumes on the Entwistle project after the Hollywood strikes finish, I wouldn't expect to see it going into production until the late 2024 at the earliest. So on air sometime in 2025. Now, the trouble is that, in my view, nothing's really been said about the reboot yet, but we know what's going to happen by observing other franchises. Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, everything. Every other franchise, has gone for the same thing. You're going to have initially nothing seemingly all that controversial, although I would argue there has been something controversial which has happened. They've announced that they will be replacing Tommy Oliver, or at least GDF as Tommy Oliver, which is unacceptable because GDF defined the role, built the role, and breathed life into the role. Every aspect of Tommy was built on Jason David Frank. By replacing him, it is rendering... Now, GDF passed away as much due to his own personal problems in life, but also due to accumulated trauma and mental health problems accumulated by being on set and suffering all this verbal abuse over the years and being told continuously that he was a replaceable human being, an actor. And the thing is, by replacing him as Tommy Oliver, you will be stating that that was true and that his death was meaningless. And because of this, I do not support anyone else in the role of Tommy, because it will only lead to, honestly, I just don't think that we should be eager to replace GDF. There is no replacing him or any of the other Power Ranger actors. And I think this is you can't just James Bond them. We need to draw a line in the sand here. It's not the helmet that made Tommy. It's Jason David Frank. And Saban has always been at war, as has the rest of the studios, with Tommy. It was the fans who had to fight to get him back into the series. It was the fans who loved him. It was the fans who pushed for him to return in Return of an Old Friend and in White Light. The studios never wanted him back. They didn't like him. But we loved him. He was for the fans, by the fans. And the trouble is, I'm going to be honest, just before this thing is unveiled, they're going to release controversial stuff, and you're going to have the fan base divided along political lines. And they will politicize the show. They will, no matter what. And you'll have certain content creators on either side of the political aisle who will rage and want to grift on this. This is what's going to happen. They'll jump on Power Rangers, even though they never cared about Power Rangers before, and never had a dog in this fight, and they've never done any Power Rangers content. They'll suddenly start making nothing but that content for a few months, till the well dries up and they've used it up and completely destroyed the hashtags and algorithm in regards to Power Ranger YouTubing. And as for us Ranger tubers, we'll be made to choose political sides as well to an extent, or if we try to remain outside of it, various people will try to drag us into it. I mean, amongst the content creators. And the thing is, basically, the studio is going to put in woke stuff, and you're going to have those people who like that stuff who will defend that stuff, and you will have those who don't like that stuff who will complain. And basically, you're going to have YouTube cracking down a little, which that doesn't help anyone. And you're going to basically have this turn into a squabbling match. And really, it's going to be the fans who suffer. Because for many of us, myself included, Power Rangers is escapism. I come back to this channel and to Power Rangers continuously because I just want to escape into this world. I love the superheroes that were my first superheroes. Before I even saw Marvel and DC, I saw Power Rangers. And you know what? I kind of think that I fell in love with DC and Marvel eventually, but then I've fallen out of love with them around the 2013 mark, just because I grew tired of all the superhero movies. I had superhero fatigue by around 2013. But I never got tired of Power Rangers. Power Rangers is my first love in regards to science fiction, superhero stuff. And it is a franchise I'll never fall out of love with. Now, you look at, for example, Star Wars. You look at Marvel, DC, you look at even Lord of the Rings. They've all pretty much been politicized. And I'm starting to see even Zelda and WoW kind of getting into this. And the trouble is that, okay, how do I put it? I do not want this to happen to Power Rangers, but I predict it will. And yeah, but the Power Rangers corner will continue as it's gone before. Of course, I want more subs. Of course, I want more views. And of course, I intend to continue making my lore videos. I love making lore videos. I intend to continue analyzing the archetypes and characters of Power Rangers. And I intend to, regardless of what happens, continue my reviews and to review honestly. Sure, I may be going too slow. I'm doing mostly lore videos of Mighty Morphin while I've reached the point of Zeo for reviews. So obviously I'm going to have to start doing lore videos of, I'm thinking, in space, Lost Galaxy, and maybe Dino Thunder, because I want to step it up and actually do other stuff, because I think many fans are frustrated with this channel with good reason, very good reason to be frustrated with us, because we've stuck mostly to Mighty Morphin when this is supposed to be celebrating almost all Power Ranger era. And I've been encouraged to actually look up Cosmic Fury. So while I'm a curmudgeon old man, Legacy of the Nerd's been really vouching for this series, and I kind of trust and like him. He's really the only other Ranger tuber I've hung out with, and I really do like him, like I said. He's got a great channel, by the way. Go subscribe to him. Great guy. And you might have noticed we're planning a stream together sometime in October. So the thing is, in that regard, hopefully we'll be able to get that soon. The tentative date is 29th, but it might be backed up or brought up sooner. I find out in the next few days. But seriously, subscribe to him. Great guy. He's been a real pal to Dan and I. And honestly, also subscribe to this channel. But anyways, the trouble is that I also think I should perhaps also do a few reviews of other seasons. I should finally do a review of Lost Galaxy, Episode 1, and start just reviewing the series. And maybe Dino Thunder. This way, we have 3 sets of reviews and 3 sets of lore videos that we're rotating and we're dealing with. I'm thinking that might be the way to go. And that way, we don't just get stuck with only Mighty Morphin. The Color podcast, I'm wanting to do it in Mighty Morphin and do it. For example, the Red Ranger podcast will cover Jason. Then when we kind of feel like we've run out of topics for the moment to discuss, we move to Rocky. Then discuss him as much as we could. Then move on to the next Red Ranger, after Tommy, of course, because Tommy Oliver's got his own podcast, which I think would be TJ Johnson. And then after TJ, it's, the next Red Ranger, then the next, and then the next, and whatnot. That's what the Color podcast are all about. And those I think should still continue like that, but the rest of the videos, Sword on Files, Ranger Podcast, and reviews out to be more diversified throughout the franchise. So, sorry to have failed you all on that front. We'll do better. But as for this upcoming reboot, we'll cover it, but I'm going in with a lot of trepidation because I'm calling it now. This show will be garbage, and we all know it's going to be garbage. And that'll be for a multitude of reasons, and people are going to get angry. People are then going to squabble, and yeah. So I will not be, I think, watching or supporting the reboot. I don't believe in it. But I will, however, be supporting and watching and reviewing Legend of the White Dragon. And the thing is, if I enjoy that movie, I will be doing content on it. And I'm thinking of also doing a shot-for-shot analysis of that movie when I get a copy, a physical one, of that movie when it comes out. So, just, yeah, this has turned into an announcement video. But anyways, this article is going to be in the description, so don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button to stay tuned for our next video, which will just be in a few days. And remember, the power is within you all, Rangers.